Let's be honest, is there anything more frustrating than slow Wi-Fi? It can bring your whole day to a halt. Well, before you even think about calling for help and sitting on hold forever, I'm going to show you 3 super simple steps that can fix it, and fix it fast. You know what I'm talking about? That little spinning circle of doom. You're trying to watch a movie, you're on an important video call, and then, boom, everything just stops. It is the absolute worst. But hang on, because the solution is probably easier than you think. We're going to walk through 3 incredibly simple fixes that honestly solve the huge majority of Wi-Fi problems. Let's get you back up and running. All right, first step, the classic, the one you've heard a million times for a reason. Just turn it off and on again. It sounds almost too simple to work, doesn't it? But trust me, this is hands down the most powerful first step you can take. So why does it work so well? I love this way of thinking about it. Your modem and router are just little computers, and like any computer, they can get bogged down with little errors and memory issues over time. A quick reboot is like giving them a fresh start. It just clears out all that junk. Now, there is a right way to do this. First, go ahead and unplug both your modem and your router from the power outlet. And here's the most important part. You have to wait. Seriously, count to 30, maybe even 60. This lets everything fully reset. Then plug the modem in first, wait for its lights to go steady, then you can plug the router back in. And get this, doing that simple little process correctly is estimated to solve up to 90% of common internet problems. 90%! That's huge. That's why this should always, always be your first move. Okay, so what if you've done the reboot and things are still sluggish? Time for fix number 2, taking a look at where your router actually lives. See, Wi-Fi signals are just radio waves, and they can get blocked by all sorts of stuff in your house. Your signal literally has to travel through the air, and it gets weaker every time it has to pass through something. The usual suspects: thick walls, big metal things like refrigerators, and even your microwave. And here's a weird one: fish tanks. Yeah, turns out water is incredible at blocking Wi-Fi signals. Who knew? So the fix is pretty obvious. Get your router out into the open. The best spot is somewhere central in your home, up high on a shelf or a table where it can breathe. The absolute worst thing you can do is hide it in a cabinet or behind the TV. You gotta free the signal. And hey, while you're thinking about location, check which Wi-Fi network you're connected to. Most routers these days have 2 bands. The 5 GHz one is way faster, but it has a shorter range. So a good rule of thumb, if you're pretty close to your router, make sure you're using that 5 GHz network for a serious speed boost. All right. On to our third and final DIY fix. If you've rebooted and you've relocated, but it's still slow, the problem might not be your signal, it might be what's already happening on your network. We're going on a hunt for bandwidth hogs. So what's a bandwidth hog? Well, it's any device or app that's just eating up way more than its fair share of your internet speed. The best analogy is to think of your Wi-Fi like a pizza. If one person grabs 6 of the 8 slices, there's not much left for anybody else, right? The most common culprits? You've got sneaky apps downloading huge updates in the background. You can check for those in your computer's task manager or activity monitor. Another big one is just having too many people all trying to stream 4K video at the same time. And finally, and this is important, make sure your Wi-Fi is password protected. You don't want a neighbor secretly using up all your pizza. So you've done it all. You've done the reboot, you've put your router in the perfect spot, and you've made sure nothing is hogging all the bandwidth. But what if? What if it's still slow? Okay, at this point, you can pat yourself on the back. You've done all the essential troubleshooting yourself. If it's still not working, the problem is almost certainly outside of your house and out of your control. Now is the time to pick up the phone and call your provider. So just remember those 3 steps: reboot, relocate, and reduce the hogs. Following those will let you solve almost any Wi-Fi issue on your own, saving you a whole lot of time and frustration. Now you should be all set to get back to whatever you were doing, but for free.